Introduction to React Native? React Native is a cross-platform mobile application development framework that lets you build native iOS and Android mobile applications. It is basically a JavaScript framework used to build a mobile application. React Native is similar to React, but it uses native component instead of using web components as its building blocks. This React Native series is complete guide on basic to advanced concepts of React Native. In this series you will learn how to build native iOS and Android apps using one of the most popular JavaScript framework, React Native. Audience. This series is designed for JavaScript and React developers who aspire to learn mobile building skills. By following this course, you will expand your React and JavaScript knowledge, learn some concepts of functional programming, and prepare to enter the mobile world. Since JavaScript world is moving forward, we will keep up with it and use ES6 syntax in this tutorial. What is React Native? It is a framework developed by Facebook, Meta, for creating native-style apps for iOS and Android under one common language, JavaScript. Initially, Facebook, Meta, only developed React Native to support iOS. However, with its recent support of the Android operating system, the library can now render mobile UIs for both platforms. Prerequisites. Before you start proceeding with this tutorial, we are assuming that you are having moderate knowledge of HTML, CSS, JavaScript and Ajax. We expect that you have basic understanding Document Object Model, DOM, JavaScript functions, closures, this events and error handling. Having familiar with React and JavaScript is plus. Even if you do not have previous experience with React. We will explain fundamental React concepts. React Native is like React, but it uses native components instead of web components as building blocks. So to understand the basic structure of a React Native app. Continuation. You need to understand some of the basic React concepts, like JSX, components, state, and props. If you already know React, you still need to learn some React Native specific stuff, like the native components. This tutorial is aimed at all audiences, whether you have React experience or not. Required knowledge? You need to understand some of the basic concepts. 1. Basic knowledge of HTML, CSS and JavaScript. 2. Basic knowledge of React.js. 3. Node.js should be installed in your system. Building with React Native is extremely efficient and highly addictive, but getting started can be a little tricky. React Native uses Node.js, a JavaScript runtime, to build your JavaScript code. If you don't already have Node.js installed, it's time to get it. Required tools? Here are the best React Native tools for developers to commence, scale, and complete the development process for all their projects. 1. Laptop or PC, Windows or Mac, must. Then check the below diagram for other tools. React Native setting up the development environment. This video will help you install and build your first React Native app. If you are already familiar with mobile development, you may want to use React Native CLI. It requires Xcode or Android Studio to get started. If you already have one of these tools installed, you should be able to get up and running within a few minutes. If they are not installed, you should expect to spend about an hour installing and configuring them. The instructions are a bit different depending on your development operating system, and whether you want to start developing for iOS or Android. If you want to develop for both Android and iOS, that's fine, you can pick one to start with, since the setup is a bit different. You can follow our Node.js environment setup tutorial to install Node.js, Python SDK and Android Studio install and configuration. In our React Native playlist. Step 1. Install React Native CLI. Step 2. Install Node.js Python JDK. Step 3. Installing Android Studio. Step 4. Configuring AVD Manager. Step 5. Start React Native project. Step 6. Run the Metro server. Step 7. Run Android emulator. Step 8. Launch the first React Native app. I have done this already. Let's create new React Native project and start learning. In this video I'm going to use Windows. Let's get started. First create one folder to organize your project code. I have created already. Let's create new React Native CLI project. For better understanding, check the official React Native documentation. React Native. Learn once, write anywhere. Create native apps for Android, iOS, and more using React. React Native combines the best parts of native development with React, a best-in-class JavaScript library for building user interfaces. Use a little, or a lot. You can use React Native today in your existing Android and iOS projects, or you can create a whole new app from scratch. Let's run the npx command to create the project. Let's run the npx command to create the project. npx React Native init and project name. And open the code in VS Code. To open the project in VS Code, type the command code. And hit enter. This is the default project structure of React Native. Open the package.json file and see the project and dependencies details. Now you can see the separate workspace for Android and iOS. You can see other folders and files like node modules, tests, bundle, metro config, Babel config, app.js, and app.json, etc. Let's run the Android emulator. Let's run the script. Before running the React Native script, let's learn what it is. What is React Native scripts? The React Native scripts package is a set of scripts from the npx React Native init starter pack which helps you kick off projects without configuring. The React Native script start command sets up the development environment and starts the Metro server, as well as hot module reloading. This could be done in the scripts section of package.json at the root of your project. Let's run the Android project. Using the npx React Native run Android script command. First time it will take some times to build and install the app in emulator. Let's wait couple of minutes and see the output. I'm going to fast forward little bit. Stay tuned. Build success. Now you can see the Welcome to React Native screen. This was rendered from app.js file. Index.js and app.js is the starting point for React Native applications, and it is always required. It can be a small file that requires other file that are part of your React Native component or application, or it can contain all the code that is needed for it. In our case, we will put everything in app.js. This app.js file is default template for the React Native project. Let's see the UI and other folders and structures. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. I'll be posting new videos every 3 days, so make sure you hit the bell icon to get notified when I upload. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.